What is the best retirement withdrawal strategy? Should you be melting down your RRSPs or only taking out the minimum amount from your RRIF? Let's go over the pros and cons of each strategy because choosing the wrong option can cost you thousands of dollars in extra taxes throughout your retirement. Let's meet Kathy. She is 63 years old, retired, and living in Ontario. She is currently receiving $1,000 per month for CPP, and her plan is to start her old age security at 65. In her own words, she lives a relatively simple life and can do the things that she wants to do in retirement for $3,000 per month, as long as that amount is indexed to inflation moving forward. She's been a good saver her whole life and has $900,000 in her RRSP and $120,000 in her TFSA. Her current plan is pretty straightforward. So as I mentioned, she's receiving her CPP. So to make up the difference to allow her to spend $3,000 per month, she's withdrawing from her RRSP. Now, once she's 65, she's going to begin her old age security. So now she's going to be drawing less out of her RRSP, again, to meet her expense goal. Once she's 71, she's going to convert her RRSP into a RRIF, and she's only going to withdraw the mandated minimum amount every year. So this is the RRIF minimum strategy that we're going to explore first. Now, from now until she turns 71, the growth in her RRSP is going to make her mandated withdrawals at that point more than she actually needs to meet her expense levels. So this extra money, we're going to use it to top up her TFSA and add to a non-registered account. If we look at Kathy's net worth, she is in no danger of running out of money, and her net worth continues to grow over time. And this is all without including the value of her home, as she has no intentions of ever selling it. So what are the pros of Kathy using a RRIF minimum withdrawal strategy? So by using this approach, Kathy is able to keep her tax bill extremely low. From now until she converts her RRSP into a RRIF, she's drawing funds out in the lowest tax bracket. Now, once she turns 65 and begins her old age security, she may want to explore making withdrawals from her TFSA instead of an RRSP because she could very likely qualify for the guaranteed income supplement, but nonetheless, she's being pretty tax efficient. And once she does start making the minimum withdrawal from her RRIF at age 71, she is still only taking out a small amount, keeping her tax bill as low as possible. On the other hand, by only withdrawing the minimum out, she still has quite a bit left in her RRIF at the plan's end. And this entire amount will be added to her final tax bill, and she's going to end up paying 50% tax on a good chunk of her retirement savings. In this scenario, Kathy's final estate value after taxes is $2.1 million, again, not including the value of her home. Now let's look at an RRSP meltdown strategy. So the idea with this strategy is to draw funds more aggressively out of the RRSP or RRIF and use those extra withdrawals to top up the TFSA and non-registered accounts. So in this scenario that we built out for Kathy, we are targeting a taxable income level of $76,000 per year. And as we can see, by targeting this income level, we're going to have her RRSP/RRIF completely depleted by the time she's 89 years old. Now, could we be more aggressive with our RRSP meltdown strategy? Sure, but on the other hand, Kathy is relatively healthy today and she does have longevity in her family, so we are in no rush to pay more tax than we need to today. By implementing this strategy, Kathy's final estate is going to be taxed much more favorably as she has more funds in her TFSA and non-registered account compared to her RRIF. So in this scenario, her final estate is $2.3 million, so a $200,000 difference compared to the first strategy that we looked at where she would only withdraw the RRIF minimum every year. Now, does this mean that everyone should employ an RRSP meltdown strategy? Well, not necessarily. Having done these types of videos in the past, I receive a lot of emails from viewers asking how they should melt down their RRSPs. And in some cases, it simply doesn't make sense. Let's say that you're 70 years old today and you have $200,000 in your RRIF. If you make 5% in that account and only withdraw the minimum amount every year, you're going to have $124,000 left in that account at age 90. Assuming you have $20,000 of other income from, let's say, CPP or OAS at age 90, your total taxable income would be $144,000 in this scenario. If we look at the combined Ontario and federal tax rates, this would put you in the 43% tax bracket, so at no point are you even close to paying 50% tax. Not only that, but these are the tax brackets today. Over the next 20 years, we can presumably assume that these brackets are going to increase due to inflation. So chances are that you're going to be in an even lower tax bracket. So which strategy is better? Well, just because your neighbor is using one strategy doesn't mean that that same strategy works for your circumstances. For all of your retirement needs, check us out at transcanadawealthmanagement.com.